Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Shaggy SoCal Tool for Forza, and time for the second track guide for this week's upcoming tracks. Again, the first race was at Catalunya National. We are now the second race. I think the second race, or maybe this is the first race. I don't know. Won't know until Thursday. But it is Road Atlanta, so brand new to this version of Forza Motorsport. Though I think we've had it, I think the last what 4 or 5 games anyhow I'm just now kind of babbling. So gonna do the same thing. I've done a few initial laps to get a read on the soft tires, but I'm gonna run a couple more laps and then kind of do the track guide. There's definitely, I think, some learning differences. I've got to unlearn what I've learned from Forza 6 and Forza 7 and the previous ones as far as what to look for, because the track does feel a little different. And then I'll get into the mock race and we'll see how good my racecraft is. I did figure out what happened was at the end of the Catalunya race, since I was a lap down and I got kind of plowed into by a couple of the driver tires and the radar didn't pop up. It's because I was a lap down. They had already finished and I was still on the last lap. So it's like, again, it's the driver tires that then just are completely stupid because they have completed the race. So kind of an unfortunate thing there, but hopefully I'll plan the race up better here. We'll have that happen again. But let's just go ahead and just check fuel and tire. And when it go out, yeah, I'll go out in softs at 50%. I get more in test drive mode. And let's see what I can relearn. And again, launching the car, if you're running traction control, is just get it high up in the rev limit, just right at the red line, but not bouncing off the hard limiter. And then as soon as it goes green, it's the best way to get it to launch without having the traction go completely bogged down. Third gear, just a little bit, that's better. This is one of the differences where it's like this feels a little more sharp than previous games. That right-hander at the top of the hill. One thing, a lot of cases, this car in Road Atlanta, this car does not like outside curves on entry. Well, it's a little late. You want to be careful of that. That's a little bit late. Come on, turn. Back straight. Use a lot of curve. And then this one, you just got to be careful of the rotation of the car as you press the hill. A little confidence lift. I don't know that we can do that flat. I'm going to try on this. I'm on the softs now, but I'll play around with that. But I just don't think we've got the grip, even on the softs, to take the final turn flat. Ooh, that's way off lines. Generous track limits. So you can use a lot of that paved road off on the right there if you need to without incurring track limits. Oh, oh, oh. We'll do one more. Break at the end of the wall there on the right. Turn in. This is where I got to work on as far as what the right line to the top of the hill is. And see, that's that outside curve. Just pitch the car a little bit sideways. Threading the needle through there. Stretch, and then we'll do the, you know, the quote-unquote track walk here at the end of this lap. That's pretty good there. All right. So coming down the front straightaway, and I just totally forget what gear I'm going to be in, but for me, braking for turn one is going to be, now I can read it now because I'm stopped, but it is right about where the 4 board here is for the braking board. I'm actually going off of, you know, the left side pit wall where it quote unquote ends, or where it takes the sharp, you know, kind of barrier across the left there. So that's what I'm keying off of. Brake, 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 keeping it to the left side. You know, it does kink a little bit. Excuse me, I'm releasing the brakes probably around where this one board's going by. Again, it's like I don't see one at speed. So it's usually, it's like, I see that one, it's like, oh, there's one more there. I'm also looking at the corner worker shack on the inside, that's kind of to get my eyes kind of looking into the apex of the first corner. But again, you know, release the brakes, turn the car in. If you scrub the speed off, cars should scrub in, well, scrub in, should get to the apex nicely, let the car come back out, start to roll back into the throttle heading up the hill. Now this is where, in previous Forzas, like I had a certain, like, oh, and I think I even had one where, like, wow, like if you line up this way, you know, a certain angle on the inside curve at the top of the hill, it puts you like perfectly in line to brake and go through, you know, to cross over the top of the hill. I've not found it yet. What I think the right line is in this version. It should be the same. It should be close to the same, but things are just different enough in this rescan or this updated version of Road Atlanta that I'm having to kind of relearn it. So, so just take this as what I'm thinking you need to do now, but it might even change by the time I finish the mock race. But first thing I want to look for is I come out to the left side. You know, I'm going to come out most of the way to the curbing. I'm not going to get on it because I want to start bringing the car back over to the right. I'm kind of trying to get the car mostly over to the right by the time I get to the pit, you know, the pit out blend line there, the dotted yellow lines on the right side, but not all the way over. And I might get over a little bit further. Plus, I'm also looking at the tree at the top of the hill. I'm going to try and figure out how I can, like, if I can look up ahead and I can spot that tree, and if I can get it in a certain place on the track, and depending where I'm at, I'm going to try and use that to guide me into the chicane here at the top of the hill. Still trying to figure this one out. But cresting up to the hill is going to start bringing the car back across. Now, ideally, let's find that curbing. The VP sign's there, but it was one of those. It seems like we're a little flatter here than we've been in the previous games. But I think I had one where and maybe this was it. See, I had it in the previous games. If you were lined up like parallel with the curbing here, then it was a straight shot of braking to the inside curb. That's not true anymore. At least it's not for the beginning part. So what I'm trying to figure out is where I want the car back to the left side here before the chicane. What I'm trying to figure out is, as I go backwards and not hit anything, is cresting the hill as I bring the car back across. Now what I can see is it is a slight bend. So, and this is where I'm trying to get back in the timing. So I think what I need to do is to get the car kind of at the curbing, kind of next to the curbing, parallel with it, just past the apex. I think that's what will work. If I can get it most of the way there, so that if I'm parallel by the end of the curbing, or at least pointed here, as I look straight ahead, I can see kind of, it looks like there's a light pole that's straight ahead there. I've got kind of a tall tree right behind it. That might be easy to spot. So like, again, just kind of building up the spatial awareness. If I'm here and I'm brake, 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 now it's not putting me straight onto the curbing. So maybe it's get lined up and pointed between the two tall trees there. This is what I still need to figure out. It's like, ideally, what can I correlate to get the car pointed straight? Because ultimately what I want to be able to do is to brake straight into here and then just completely clip this curbing. Because the hard part is once you get across the curbing, depending on the angle you're at, then it's like, at least in my practice lap, I've been having to throw out a lot more steering then to keep the car from going off on the left side on the exit. So I'm still trying to figure out a quick, consistent line to get over this hill, because yeah, you get this one right and your opponent doesn't. I mean, you're talking half a second probably, as far as just from the amount of speed that you can carry over the top of the hill. So we'll see how that develops over the mock race. But ultimately, you want to bring the car out to the left side. You're going to need to feather the throttle through here. Try to keep the car to the left, and even continuing. I know some people go out a bit and try to bring it back across. I might cheat and do that a little bit as well, but ultimately I want to try to keep the car at least to the left side of the circuit. Because what I'm trying to find is the outside curbing here. I want to find it. I don't want to get on it, because this, hopefully, and this is the other part of the timing that I'm having to readjust, is being on the left side here. As I get to this curbing, I should be able to start turning the car in to get down through the next series of S's. I've not been able to do it flat, so you're going to have to, though I don't recall really needing to do a lot of braking either, but there might be a little combination of it depending on the angle you go in at and how much speed you're carrying. You might need to brake a little bit. You might need to you might just need to let off the throttle a little bit, but ultimately you bring the car across, try to get to the apex of this curbing late. And you want to try, and at least what I try to do is I try to take these next couple of S's as straight as possible, without without upsetting the car, and without incurring time penalties. So usually, as I'm coming down through here, I'll cheat and I'll just clip, and I'll straddle this curbing, the second half of this curbing, or I'll just kiss it. It's this next curbing that's the other one I've got to figure out. So I'm going to sit here. If you notice how it curves and it straightens out, what I want to do is I actually want to have the car kind of more lined up. I want to get it to the right side by the apex of that curb, but I want the car kind of more lined up parallel to the curbing, to the latter half of the curbing, because that kind of sets the car in a better position to take the left-hander. So that's what I'm trying to do. A lot of what's been happening is usually I end up clipping it like right about here, and it kind of puts me in the inside. But if I do it right, and I can parallel this curve here, brake, 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 release, downshift. I think this is a third gear corner. You get on this curbing here a little bit and roll back the throttle. Track limits are very generous here. You can go completely on the curbing, skip on the outside here, as long as you have the car back on track by the time it merges back on. We didn't have that much track exit, in the previous Forzas. Usually if you got that far out, you were getting the time penalty. So you've got a lot more usable road on the exit, if you get it wrong, or if you get it right. Actually, let's treat it that way. So back on the track, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. I don't know if you got up to fifth, but braking for me here is at the Chevy boards here on the left side. Brake, brake, brake down to third. Turn the car in. Just get on the curbing a little bit. Bring the car out. I'm going to stay off the left side curbing. timing for me is the exit out. By the time I get the car out of the corner to the left side, and I'm parallel with the outside curbing, it's like right about there. You need to, at least for me, this is about where I'm going to be braking. I might cheat a little bit, brake a little bit later, but this is about where you need to brake for this next corner. You also notice too, again, I'm doing this in the daytime. Who knows what it'll look like at night? But you can see how you have extra patch of dirt where people have gone off, have gone a little wide on exit and torn up some of the grass on the other side of the curbing. So that's also kind of my sign as far as where to brake at. So if I can get the car out here, this would be on the early side. I don't think I'd want to brake any later than here, when I'm past that point of the worn dirt on the left side. Third gear, brake down to second. Follow the new pavement through. You can get on the inside curbing here a little bit, roll back into the throttle to the outside. Now we're on the back straight. Great straight to set up pass to get alongside. Heading down, I think this is turn 10, down at the chicane before the end of the lap. Braking to me feels like it's a little bit earlier than maybe I'm used to from previous games. But it is, now again, the timing line won't be there. And hopefully we keep it on track where at least the braking, the signboards and like that are there. For me with this car, it is about where the WeatherTech sign is, just before 5. So if I had to, and if those signs aren't there, I'll see if I can find something else. But the WeatherTech signs are a good reference point for me. If I look down, if I can't read the numbers, which at speed I usually can't, it's usually the second of the smaller braking boards at the latest, and that is risky for me, at least right now. But it's not quite, but also if you notice, it's not quite at the bottom of the hill where it flattens out and starts to go back uphill. So it's just the other thing. If you can tell where it's just before it flattens out to start going back uphill, that's about where you're going to brake. So that's the best guidance I can give right now. Brake, second gear. Turn in, go ahead and use as much of this inside curbing as you can. Roll in the throttle, a little roll out to turn the car in for this part, roll back in. Now I'm running Sport TCS, which allows for a little bit of wiggle in the back of the car. And I know a couple of you aren't running traction control. This to me is going to be the trickiest corner to get this car over. You're cresting over a hill, so the back of the car is going to get light. It's going to get light right as you need to turn right to start heading down the hill. In fact, you actually kind of start turning right as you crest it. Then it settles in, and then you've immediately got a really heavy load generating on the left side of the car for that final right-hand turn. So I think short shifting is going to be best as you roll up through the gears. As you get under the Fox factory, plan on doing another upshift, probably to 4th. So as you crest the hill, that's where you're first going to feel it get light. It might get light again. With the TCS, what I notice is that the weight transfer, the car starts to, what I call, it'll start to walk back to the right because the back end steps out, but then the traction controls keeping the back end from completely spinning out, but then I'm turning right, so it's just going to help the car start to hook a bit. So just be mindful of that. You just open your hands up a little bit, open the wheel up a little bit, maybe back out of the throttle, gets the car back in line. We'll see how well I do with it. Coming down the hill, the turn in for the final corner is past the end of the curve here, but before you can see the pavement patches there, you're going to turn in just as you're getting to those, maybe a little bit before. Confidence-wise, I've been, even on the soft tires at this point, I'm still lifting on turn-in until I get the car, and I'm not like, oh, I got to completely out of the throttle. It's just enough out of the throttle to balance the weight, the front to wheel weight, to balance that out. So I've got a little more grip in the front to turn the car in. Maybe as the race goes on, I get more confidence. I'll be able to figure out how to do it flat on the soft tires. We'll find out. But I'm going to try and late apex this as best I can. Low back into the throttle, 5th gear. If I do it right, the car should just nicely track out to the left side and not go off onto the grass. If you do find you to go off on the grass on the left side during the race, get out of the throttle, get the car, and just merge back on. Just bring the car back onto the pavement. Just, you don't have to get completely out of the throttle to get the car settled. Then just give enough maintenance throttle to maintain speed, merge back onto the track, and then hit the gas. The last thing you want to do is be mashing the gas as the car transitions back onto the pavement. And then you've got grip here, but you have no grip here, and the car goes zip, and then it creates issues for others, especially if you do it in traffic. The other nice thing is that the tire barriers aren't as prevalent. So hopefully, we don't have situations where somebody plows into the tires and just the rebound, there's just no, they're right back on the middle of the track. So hopefully some good things there. But that's Road Atlanta, at least in this version of Forza, as best as I can, kind of break it down. I think part of it is I just haven't run enough laps yet to really kind of sort out some of the to what's been changed from the previous game. So with that, let's go ahead and figure out a mock race and get a read on the tires. So let's go ahead, and to do that, before I do that, let's go to exit 2. We're going to quit race. Again, for bitrate issues and like that, just general maintenance. Though I haven't experimented with it yet to see if I can do a full stream without the static thing popping. I'm just going to pause the stream, kind of reset the audio, and we'll get into the mock race with what I think we're going to have on Thursday. So be right back. 2 shakes of a bunny's tail. Ford Falcon FGX. Okay, so we're going to do a circuit race here, and I'm going to learn from previous mistakes and adjust the AI. So custom race length. I'm guessing we are going to be doing, and actually let me make sure, because I almost did 27. I think that's still a little too, yeah, it was less than that. Again, this is a ballpark guesstimate. I could be off. Typically I'm high by at least a lap. So figure 23, it's in the ballpark. It wouldn't be surprised if it's a little less, because I don't factor in the bucket delays. Starting time, we're going to go random. Time progression 4, that's fine. Weather random, but again, if it rains, I am re-rolling the weather. I'll keep the time of day. And we start with 20% on the dynamic. Can't talk this afternoon on the dynamic track rubber. Driver tire designs, that's fine. Number of driver tires 23. Cars, this is where I need to make the change. Now, this is the weird idiosyncrasies of free play and trying to set up a lobby. It's defaulting because I've picked a car that's in the Forza GT division. That's what it's going to default to, which also then, but what I'm going to try and do is set the, instead of giving it that free range of the PI, again, the game will tries to keep it within your whatever level your car's at. But I think by leaving it in the Forza GT division, it's going to cap it about what the top of that division runs at. So I want to try and rein it in. I think we're running the default setup on this car, so it's PI is like 785. So I'll give the AI up to 800, but then I'm gonna have to make some other adjustments as I go down, because the second I do that, it borks the model and try to force everybody into the same car. So actually the first thing I need to do is put that on any. Then I can put this to 800. Come on. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We're still in 4, but now I got to go through all the Fords. And there's 2 number 17, so I got to be careful. That's the AMDs. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. So that's going to limit the AI that'll rein them, by PI, that's going to rein in the pace a little bit. So at least I have a better shot of being in some traffic during the mock race, because it's no fun doing these streams and I just end up hot lapping most of the thing, most of the lap, or most of the race. We'll still do all that. That's fine. Min max weight. That's going to be fine. Rules. Sport rules. Prime time tire wear. Standing start. Random grid ordering. Number of quick stops. Mandatory pit stops 1, though I think we're going to need to do 2. And that's fine. Okay. Accept all. Fingers crossed. It looks like, oh good, no rain. Looks like late in the afternoon. Okay, so nice lady, tell us about Road Atlanta.
The Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta dates back to 1969, when the founders boldly chose to turn 750 acres of hilly farmland into a world-class road racing circuit, deep in the heart of stock car country.
In the heart of NASCAR. So, all right. Let's talk about fuel and tires. So, and again, I don't like messing with fuel. It's just it's one too many things for my brain to handle during the race. But I'm going to start on the hards. So here's my initial read on the tires is the softs on just kind of doing, kind of my generic test laps. They hit 60% as I started lap 6. So I think we're only going to get 5 laps out of them here, which it's like, wow, that's kind of high dag. But it is a longer circuit than Catalunya was. But and so the formula there is, if I got 5 laps on the softs before they hit 60%, then the hards should at least go 10 laps, maybe into 11, and then the mediums will be somewhere in between. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 6, 7, might get 8 laps, 7 to 8 laps out of the mediums. So we'll see how that works. Again, for a 23 lap race, if it is 10, 8, yeah, it's still a 2-stopper. Though you would have some flexibility on like what you would want to run. Though you might, I think I'm going to do the same thing I did at Catalunya and probably start hard, medium, soft, because that in theory, 10, 8, 18, 19, 20, 22, 10, it'd be like what I did at Indy, is one stint on each compound. That satisfies our multi-compound rule, but also perfectly kind of lets me run the race and not have to push the tires past 60%. I need to stop talking and start racing, so let's go ahead and do that. So 23 laps, we'll do hard, medium, soft on the strategy, and away we go. And hopefully I can keep it on the track. Let's go ahead and start. A watch is going to put me right up front. Oh, and it's put me up front on the inside, or on the outside. Well, on the inside for turn 1. So I'm going to pull over here to the right. Hopefully don't get rear-ended. I got some Multool signs, but they'll go back up for the next lap. There you go. Oh, they're already by me. Okay. Remember, on the hard tires, much less grip. And everybody's really slow. There. Yeah, that might be the good line. This is one way to get really good tire wear. Let's just don't go fast. It's nice to see Treehouse, sponsoring more and more cars than just Mac. Anyway, that treehouse design, I believe, is shared by Rodeo Empire, as well as a couple other Ford Falcon liveries for this car. If you like what you see, I'll point out the ones that I know should be out there. Excuse me. It's a little wide. Argy bargy. Pretty wide now. Forza driver tires never change. Let's say free entry. I'm surprised that I'm not completely last. I guess some of the back cars had more issues than I did. So what did I say about wanting to be kind of involved in more traffic and not make this a glorified hot lapping session? We'll definitely catch some of the guys in front of us, I think. I hope. Yeah, be careful that the curbings are not kind to this car. So just be careful if you're going to get tires on outside curbs, especially if you have any steering still dialed into the car, because it'll start to walk on you. Probably risk a little more throttle there. All right. Ah! Coming? I think so. This is why we practice. So that turn one, I just turned in way too early with too much speed, and hard tires just understeered off. Nothing I could really do at that point. So I still managed to pick up a couple of positions. It's getting real low. You notice I'm not when I'm getting tires off on the inside, I'm not. Sorry, I can't talk and drive at the same time. I'm waiting until I get all four tires back on the pavement before I really roll into the throttle. Here we go. What? Okay, the driver tires haven't learned where to land. I'm all worried about me not knowing the track. There's a hip check into the wall. I love how the driver tires just stop when they make contact. Can I run a lap without running into anything or going off track? Yeah, the fronts just do not want to bite. Okay, so it's a decent line, but well, semi-decent. I think I had the right idea on the braking. I think I just didn't get the car slowed down enough and turned in too late. And I think I need to be a little neater on the curbing through that chicane. Because again, it's I'm hitting those curbs that unsettles the car enough where I'm having trouble getting it set to make that sharp left-hander onto that short back straightaway. Joys of learning new tracks. Or relearning old tracks. That's probably more accurate. The other thing too is I tend not to cross over the pit entry blend line. I might try that later in the race. I like the car being a little straighter, I think. So I'll see. Maybe we'll experiment that in the lap or two. And I'm still not slowing down enough. You would think I would learn by now. Okay, that's a little better. Get the entry right, kind of got the apex right. The exit was decent. Tire check on the lap 5, but we should be over 30%. Ooh, yeah, we're over 30% at the back barely, but that's partway through lap 6. So let's see if we can do 11. That tire's going to 11. Partly that might. And maybe I'll probably still leave the guesstimate at 10 because, that first lap was done very gingerly. Because I decided to kind of hang back in traffic, so I wasn't pushing those tires as hard as I will. Pushing the tires as hard on that first lap, and that was a prime example of that outside curbing. You just avoid it like the plague. You do not want to touch. You don't want to touch tires out there. I mean, it's bad enough that the grass will suck you off. That's a poor choice of words. The grass, you get into the grass, it will suck you off the track. There you go. But just kissing that curb with that outside curb with the left sides. That was a little bit too much steering. You're just wearing the tires out doing that. See how far that wheel was cranked to the right. It's kind of interesting. It's an interesting question to ask the Turn 10 devs if, like, when they introduce a new track into this game, even if it's one that's been in previous Forzas, it's like, does this version of the Drivatar system have to relearn the right way around the track based off of player data? And how much, because I'd imagine, I don't know that they can fully rely on the Drivatar data from the previous games, because this track is a little different, I think. Or maybe that's part of the problem, that they are relying on it. Yeah, it's still pushing out a little bit there. That was actually halfway decent. even with sport traction control, you can still get the back end to step out a little if you want. Come on. On aboard the struggle bus. At least the driver tires attempt to do safe returns. I appreciate that. Lights are about to turn on. Ah!
Total time penalty is about a second.
That's fine. Stay there, stay there, stay there, thank you. Part of my issue right there is I'm braking way too late. Well, I'm either braking too late or I'm not giving enough brake pressure to get the car slowed down. So we'll work on that. Thank you for being slow out of that corner. Nice thing is, I'm trying to keep track of the time gap. if not for my mistakes, I would say I'm at least catching the cars in front of me. Oh, don't you dare, Max. Max Montero. That was the 10th lap. I should have pitted. That's okay. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. So, I might fudge this and say, oh, come on. So, yeah, turn one on the hards tires is going to be problematic. I'm at like 50, I was at like 54, 50, I saw like 54, 55% on the left front. And, you know, if I'd have pushed as much as I did, if I'd have pushed like I normally would do on the first lap, then I would say 10 laps comfortably. So, I don't know, you might Well, then I did have the slide as well, which you could say, probably took some wear out of the tires. So 10, maybe 11, we'll say. I definitely need to pit this lap and get off these horrible, horrible tires. And Max is going in too. So that was pit entry. Oh yeah. Let's go to mediums. So you can see it catches you a little bit earlier than you think, but that entry as you're cresting the hill is... We'll see if I can do better at that next time. Alright, let's see if the mediums are any better. Yeah, it's going to be a little tough to keep all 4 tires on the inside of that, within the pit lane exit, but I think as long as you don't, if you don't go halfway across, I think you're fine, but, we can discuss that on Thursday. But do try to keep the car, in the pit lane until it ends. Just me not seeing the sign until it's too late. Allergies of no brake cleaner. But the increased grip is nice. That's not the fastest way through that corner. I'm still braking way too late there, so I just need to get that timing down a little bit better. Okay, so since it's dark now, we'll hopefully let's see what I can see coming down to this braking zone. See if I can spot something sooner. Okay. Okay, that was a little too soon, but so it's the 3rd WeatherTech sign, assuming they're all there. I was a little slow through there. I'm still braking at the one WeatherTech sign too early. I'd rather it be one sign too early than one sign too late. All things considered. On the lap 11. Alright, so 13, 14, 15. Okay, so hopefully if I remember, we'll do a tire check at the end of this lap, and that will, at least, I'm hoping we're below 30%. Shallow, very shallow, very shallow. Yeah, looks like about 8 laps. I'm mainly paying attention to the front. I'm not looking at the rears. Almost looped it again. At least it's lower speed there and I could catch it. Check that inside, that's fine. Now at night I'm using more, there's that yellow kind of pit sweet stand there on the left. I'm kind of using that a little bit more at night. It's easier to spot. Oh, that's a little too much. It's like the drivatars haven't figured out how to get through, you know, the right-hander onto the backstretch without scrubbing crap tons of speed. Of course, they're going to help when they decide that they're going to run into each other. Let's take a look and let's see if we can make this stick. That'd be nice. Thank you. back end started to step out. Tire work. Okay, that's expected. So yeah, looks like 8 laps on the mediums roughly. You know, it's about 5 on the softs. So see, the car started to walk a little bit. The back end was just, I was starting to get in a little bit of a 4-wheel drift. See if I can do the pit entry any better. So I'm going to keep it. Yeah, definitely practice pit in. We're going to go to softs to finish the race out. That's something also to probably communicate. You know, if you got somebody right on your tail and you're going to head into the pits. Excuse me, if they know. You know, less likely getting rear-ended just across the hill. Okay. Close this thing out on the softs. Let's see if we can hit him. So I think the trick of getting out of pit lane, or like when it releases you, is, you know, don't be full on the throttle immediately. Just give it a second, then roll in. I think that'll help you get the car in better position to set up for, you know, the top of the hill, especially if there's traffic, you know, coming up behind you. I don't know who else has to pit. But let's see if we can get back into the top 10.
Three more.
Copy that. Still throwing the car into that right hander. It's not the best way through there. Even there, coming out, you can feel the car just kind of giving me like a little mini tank slap where it's the weight's going left and right. be able to get a good run on the Andy gloves here. Ten seconds to elusive. I almost thought I was going to get rear-ended there. Way late. Way late. You know how much easier Road Atlanta is when you have tires with grip?
Last lap. Let's go.
It's one of those, unfortunately, I don't think the replay will save that far, this far into the race, but I'd be curious, like, what happened there? I should be able to pull away here at this point, because again, the driver tires have not figured out how to take that turn quick. Bye-bye. A little bit late. It's okay. Yes, I only did 4 laps on those tires. So that is Road Atlanta 35:22. Now that's, I guess we could say my spin counts as, accounting for my bucket delay. Maybe not. But 23 laps, it might be 22 when all is said and done. So again, tire strategy wise, if it's 10, maybe 11 on the hards, we did 8 on the mediums, and then I know we can do 5 on the softs. So you can kind of play around with the math. Can you do it on a one stopper? It's possible. If you do, let's say it's 11 and 8, that's 19. Then you'd only have to do, again, if it's a 23 lap race, 19, 5 laps. It might be a tall ask, but if the race length is like 21 or 22 laps, then it's like, okay, is it worth the risk, to run those couple of extra laps on each stint past 60%? Personally, I don't think it is. Just the struggles I had with this car on the hard tires in turn 1. You get the speed wrong, you're going off. And, so it is probably a 2-stop race, and then it's just figuring out, what's the optimal tire strategy on a 2-stopper, to get you to the end of the race and have tires that will last. This might be a medium, let's see, 8, 10, 18, or you do a hard. If you, let's say you do a hard and then just go soft, soft, maybe, hard, medium, soft, we'll see. The lap count is really what's going to decide that. So, but yeah, turning down the Drivatar thing actually made things a little more interesting. But that's Road Atlanta. I think this is the first race up on Thursday, and it's gonna be pretty physical. Just trying to manhandle the car. So I'll leave it at that. So practice. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Hope you had a great weekend, and happy racing.